Train Candy, yeah, 889. Wow, that's a lot of episodes. Hi,
almost
Louise.
at 1,000. Hi, Suze. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited. I was just telling you about this before we started, but now everybody else has to hear. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow, and there's nothing. It's been over a year since I've had a haircut. There's nothing that makes you feel better than like a fresh cut.
Yeah, but your hair grows more than a normal person. I guess it's Nutrafol or something.
It is. I've just been growing like crazy. I don't know what it is. So
it's wild though.
We got it
because when you posted that video from Costa Rica, how long ago was that? 2 years?
Like 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, 3 years.
Because you're supposedly you grow about 6 inches a year, which then that makes sense. But I feel like
totally
it's that
makes
last
sense.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through all because I was like trying to find haircuts to show my hairdresser like what I want. And I just went through all of like the times I was like, ooh, got a botched haircut there. That wasn't good.
So you send her, you give her pics of yourself from back in the day.
Yeah, because I feel like that, sometimes people bring in pictures of celebrities and stuff, and it's like, well, you're still not going to look like Jen
they're
Aniston.
not a magician.
Sorry. Right, exactly. But I feel like you can't say anything when I'm bringing in photos of myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like makes it easy. And then I also have pictures of different angles. This is a boring conversation. Nobody cares about this.
No,
but,
I think they do.
I think that's helpful. I don't know. I'm always nervous to get a new haircut.
If it looks like shit, I'll let you know.
Please do. But so far, so good. She's delivered every time.
Okay.
But yeah.
Not a lot going on for me to report, or no crazy stories for you.
You're not cutting all your hair off or anything like that? Or?
No, I am not doing that. In fact, every time I go, she's like, Can I just do like a dusting? Like begging me, like hands off, lady. I'm onto them. You know how my favorite conspiracy theory is about wisdom teeth. My second one is about the need for trims.
Yeah.
Not that I think you don't need any.
Right, but you don't need them. Right.
They're like every 2 months. Get the fuck out of here.
And then people like to say that, your hair will grow. The ends are fucking dead. The hair on the top of your head does not know what the hair on the bottom of your head is doing. If anything, it just like takes care of split ends. But you could take care of that with good product and good maintenance and
yeah. Get away from me with those shears.
Yeah.
I've had it. All right, let's just dive right in, Sarah.
Yeah. Let's. What are we wasting time?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well maybe people will be mad about this. I don't know. There was I thought it was a really great article in, I don't know how you say it, but it's Aeon, Aeon. Aeon.
Your guess is as good as mine with that one. I don't know.
Okay,
sounds like the name of one of Elon Musk's children or something.
There was a great article about therapy, and it was written by a psychotherapist who was having a change of heart about their beliefs about what therapy ought to do and how therapists ought to treat their clients and what techniques to use and why. And I feel like it will probably make some people mad, but I found it very compelling and persuasive, and also just like gets your motor running and like your wheels turning, and that's what I love. Yeah. So, you know how like basically with psychology, there isn't a ton of like hard data. A lot of it is, I don't know, vibes.
It's the more you're in this business, the more you realize it's fucking vibes.
But it's like vibes that I understand, sort of like when you have to define porn, like we all know what it is. We all know what a borderline person is like.
Right.
I don't need a lot of science to know like something ain't right.
Right.
So, but it's vibes. And so this person was sort of saying like, why don't we take a real good hard look at like what we do know?
Yeah.
And see if our Western approach to therapy is in line with that. And of course, this person is arguing that it's not.
I agree.
Okay. Like, like off the top of your head, is there anything that stands out?
Well, I follow a more, what is it called? Like post-dynamic, post-something, there, like postmodern therapy approach, whatever. But
postmodern.
That
no, I think that's a thing. No,
yeah.
no, I'm with you.
But I feel like the more, what is it, like psychodynamic, that one where you're the Freudian or psychoanalytic, like psychoanalysis, where you're just like guiding the client, is an old school method of therapy where the therapist knows the best. And I am really a believer that the client knows what's best, and you are there to work within the client's like belief system, reality, whatever that, like the goals, you know, if it's not a problem for me, it's not a problem for them. And I think a lot of therapy, the old school therapy is like diagnosing and the therapist saying, well, this is what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And I don't even like doing that. That's why I work in private practice, so that I don't have to be like diagnosing people all the time.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the author would support that because I think the author feels like a real discomfort with certainty when we don't have a lot of quantitative evidence about how human behavior works and like what informs how we feel, if we're happy or not.
Right.
Like a lot of it is very nebulous and like vague and transient and weird, like it could vary person to person, right?
Absolutely.
And so he's saying that especially this idea of like really leaning into talking about childhood trauma, things that bother you, like things that maybe happened when you were a kid, may be doing more harm than good. And particularly with kids, that we do have studies that show that like kind of like making them talk about and sit with their discomfort is making it worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never force a kid to talk about that. You know, it's almost like, so say they went through the parents getting a divorce. I wouldn't focus on, and a lot of work with kids is there's no evidence like that is really consistent with that. You just watch them play in their world, and I like to set up scenarios where, you know, you have maybe puppets or toys that represent a family, and you talk about a family, how a family can be happy and look different, and how, and maybe not even focus on happiness, but focus on feeling safe and feeling connected to mom and dad, or, you know, whatever the family dynamic is, in the future, and more like future focused, and not staying locked in or caught up in the content and the what happened to me story.
Excuse me. Yeah. That, like, when we look at twin studies, for example, we consistently see that people with the same genes in totally different families often develop very similar personalities, but adopted sisters with no genetic links raised in the same family have different kinds of personalities. And that, like, even childhood trauma hasn't even been linked to, like, causally to mental ill health. What is linked is that when we suffer as adults, if we are unhappy as adults, we interpret our childhoods as having been bad.
Oh.
Right? That blew my mind. That, like, if we're happy as adults, we look back on our childhood and are like, you know what? It was pretty good. Like all told, it was like, but if we're like miserable wretches,
right,
which I am, we tend to look back and think like, that was fucked up.
Well, that's weird because I feel like I'm happy now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the reality of the things that happened to me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
How do they...
But maybe people don't interpret it that way. That people may see that they went through hardship or something, but they're not like upset about it or feel like they were handed a bad deal.
I guess that's right. I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, like you're not blind to shit that happened, but that you don't see it as like an impediment and that this is why you're whatever is cooking.
I almost think it helps with my strengths in a way. Like it is
because you're doing well.
Okay.
But if you were homeless, you might be like, this is because my mom or dad did X, Y, or Z.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I think that's why you have to work on the present and feel somebody feeling
that's
safe
what he
and okay
says
in the moment. And that's why
it's
you
all
have
about
to
the present.
Yes, and you have to feel safe now, because if you don't feel safe in the moment, you're going to then explain why, create a story around how you got to be where you are.
And that's reasonable. Like, I'm not blaming people for doing that. It makes sense. Where
it's the brain. They can't help it. This is the brain's protective factor. You can't even help this.
But that he's arguing.
I'm with him, I think.
And he's saying, like, maybe as therapists or psychologists or psychotherapists, we shouldn't be leading people down a path of pain. I'll tell you what doesn't cause me pain. It causes me pleasure. And that is my pair I wear, spectacles.
Well, yeah, because you're probably not squinting and straining to see. And also, you look adorable.
That's right, people. Pair I wear because, okay, I've always needed glasses, but like as you age, I don't know if you people heard, but things don't get better.
It definitely, there will be a moment where you go to thread a needle and it's like, oh, we're here.
Thread a needle. Nobody's doing that except you.
That is not true.
I mean, it's a niche. Okay. But if you're just trying to read, for Pete's sake, sometimes that is all it takes. And you're just like, and when you say one day, like one day, you'll see. It is like that.
It is literally one day. It's like, yesterday I could, and today I can't. Yes. That is the craziest thing.
Yes. And people act like it's just like, reading a menu, you got to put on your readers. No, it is freaking like bad all the time, driving whenever, okay? I'm just telling you so you know. But if you need corrective eyewear, or if you just want to look adorable, you should get Pair. They have such affordable frames, base frames. I have the Kirby and the Larkin. Those are my styles.
Cute.
And then you can get the magnetic toppers, and they have all different colors and stuff, so you can change it up if you want to match your outfit, if you want to do for the holidays, if you want to do like freaking Disney whimsy, you can do that. And then you do the virtual try-on. So this is all done through magical digital means. It's super easy. You just upload your prescription, upgrade how you see the world and how the world sees you. Go to paireyewear.com and use code BCP for 15% off your first pair. Support the show by mentioning the Brain Candy Podcast sent you in your post-checkout survey. That's Pair, P-A-I-R, eyewear.com, code BCP.
I already love this episode. A+ topic, Susie.
Is this changes everything?
Yeah, right. I'm like, this is my jam. Yes. I love this shit.
Okay. So
this is why I became a therapist, man.
If we focus on the grace part too, though, we have a 27% estrangement rate in the United States, right?
What does
People
that mean?
are cutting off their family members saying,
estranged
this is a boundary.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Right.
I cannot. You're toxic.
Oh, okay. Right.
All that. Okay. And sometimes you got to do that.
Right.
Sometimes they are, and you're doing the right thing.
Right.
However.
Yeah.
A lot of that, like statistically, if you have 27% estrangement rate, a lot of that is just like somebody makes me feel some kind of way that makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
And so I'm just going to stop engaging.
Right.
That's not great. Because if you're just eliminating people that make you uncomfortable.
Yes. I totally agree. You do have that there is a because also
you have to be discerning about that shit.
Right. And is it that's why, again, I go to what makes me feel safe. Because if those relatives don't make you feel safe, that is very different than these relatives bug me and frustrate me and piss me off because they're always trying to meddle in my business. And you have to learn what is behavior that I can accept. How do I not be reactive to these kind of things and accept this, even if that person doesn't want to do the work? So, but what I wonder that I think may not be included in there is, yes, I do think that number is high, and I do think that number is a lot of people who are saying, "Well, they're cutoffs, not
boundaries."
Boundaries which is different.
Yeah.
But what I think we have the ability to do now that is choose our family. Is that it can't be you can't have. Avoid.
It doesn't have to be either or, though. You can sort of like keep, like, my family is on the Trump train. I could easily be like, I can't tolerate this.
Right.
I'm done.
Right.
I could do that.
Right.
But what if I just handled that and then also had chosen family? You could do both.
Absolutely, because you feel safe with that family. There's nothing that makes you feel in danger when you're with them. So
I'm
if you were some of those people that felt, I feel like that is where we can have that as like a protective factor.
And what does safe mean?
Like abuse.
Well, then, of course, that goes without saying. But how frequent is that? What percentage? Very low, not 27%.
But I bet 10.
Okay, 10.
Yeah, I bet
we got
17%
of people then being like, "Ugh, I just don't."
Yeah,
like how
and
you
I
make
bet
me
that
feel.
17% of the people are the people who don't want to do the work and don't want to go to therapy. That makes sense for me. Those numbers make sense. That 10% are cutting off or not wanting to do the work,
like, "Yee."
and the other ones are in a situation where they absolutely do need to. Yeah, I think those numbers
add up.
Because then you also factor in the people who have maybe a personality disorder who are never going to go to therapy and are just going to, and you're like, oh, okay. And then everybody else is whatever it may be. So,
okay.
I think that number makes sense if we recognize that maybe 15% of those, 20% should be in therapy and are not.
Totally.
Aren't doing the work and want to just have their way, which that seems like if I took 100 people about what the numbers would be.
Okay. Then, oh wait, my light's not on. Hold on. I want to look more beautiful.
Oh.
There we go. Okay. So the other thing is that there's a lot of cultural stuff. So like what we talked about, how some of it's like collectivist culture versus individualist culture, capitalism, blah, blah, blah. So there's that. But there's also this this idea of, religion and stuff. And like what is seen as natural in Buddhist cultures, suffering is...
Totally.
It's
part
totally,
of it.
It's totally different.
Yep.
And in
we
Western
have to
culture, where we try
suffering.
we are mitigating suffering any chance we get.
Right.
So this is wild. Listen to this. Okay, in 2004, trauma counselors descended upon the victims of the tsunami of 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And the local university pleaded with them to stop it because suffering wasn't seen as trauma.
Right.
And that they felt that these counselors were undermining these people's resilience. Now,
yeah.
Okay. I'm not here to say who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
But like, that's a legitimate point of view.
Right.
If you feel like hardship can build character. It can build resilience, especially in a place where you need a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Because I think how you know that you, like as a therapist, why I don't like the therapist descending on that, like telling people, it is.
We have the answer.
It is never a therapist's job to tell somebody that they need therapy.
But it's not even like the therapist part isn't what stands out to me. It's like the white savior thing.
Absolutely, that's what that is. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, this is a different thing if it were if it's a school shooting and you need somebody to come and then fucking send in the therapists, please.
And the article said that there are extreme examples.
I love this. So far, this article and I are totally in agreement. And this is my
Did you
therapy.
write this article?
Right. Like that. Yeah. I agree. I think this is if you are a well-educated therapist that you would probably agree with this.
But you can't be everybody's therapist. That's a problem.
I know, but a lot of our listeners are therapists, and they're fucking good therapists.
They are good.
Yeah.
And they will be
shout
like,
out to Stephanie and Corey. Yep.
Aw, shout out.
Yeah. And many more of them.
I think part of the problem, if we just get down to it, is that social media has made a lot of mental illness, but not even mental illness, sort of like quirks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. Well, because we're it's the mental healthing our way out of accountability.
Yeah, and be like, oh my God, I'm not weird. I'm fucking cool because I have this label of whatever it is. Right. And then it spreads and spreads and spreads. And everyone's like, you can't. Yeah, you're right. It's about accountability too, because they're like, you can't be mad at me because I have this actual real thing.
That I don't like.
Yeah, I know you don't. I love that about you.
Right. I can't stand that because it's just if I did that, then no, those things are not your weaknesses. They're your strengths and the superpowers. You have to use them as that. And everybody has them. It's just finding out what they are and when they come out and when they develop. Because I would even say the people who get everything they want and have super pretty privilege and all this stuff, trust me, there is a lesson that they're going to be learning at about 50 years old or 40-something years old when people aren't opening the door for them anymore and they're calling a ma'am or whatever, and they have a total breakdown because they can't, they now have to.
Who am I?
Who am I? Right. Who am I? So everybody gets theirs, and that suffering, it's the Buddha suffering thing. It's a part of fucking life. Pain times resistance. Well, I should say pain is a part of life. Suffering is what we can control. Pain times resistance equals suffering.
I mean, for real, if you live in California and you're not seeing Sarah, I pity you.
Families, if you have trouble with disagreements in family, you need a mediator, the one person who's not going to therapy. I do families, I do couples, I do individuals, all of that kind of stuff. So I am here to help and support. And even if it's just a one-off, I got you.
She got you.
Yeah.
And guess who else got you? It's Nutrafol. And we were talking about that earlier because Sarah's hair is growing so fast that she actually has to prune it.
Look at that.
I'm sick about it. It's stupid.
That's my belly button's right here. That's crazy. It's
almost there. A proper mane.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous, and she has to trim it up because it's getting too crazy.
It's getting too crazy.
And that is all thanks to Nutrafol because, my gosh, this is science, proper doctors saying, hey, you want your hair to grow? They got you. If you feel like you have hair thinning, a lot of shedding, this is such a great option. It's because it's a hair growth supplement, and it's going to help you with thicker, stronger, faster growing hair. And that's what freaking everybody wants.
Yes.
And then Take it for 3 to 6 months. You will see. Sarah is always complimenting me too because I had the tragedy and I had to start basically from scratch.
Yeah, you
and
did.
It's been amazing. It's physician formulated, 100% drug-free ingredients. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com. Enter promo code BRAINCANDY. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Yes.
All right. I love that article. Thanks for indulging me.
That was great. What are people poo-pooing it about? Because they say, like, don't discount my trauma.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like a lot of therapists sort of approach is very much about like, let's talk about your childhood. What is the origin of this?
Unless the client comes in as like,
here's what's cooking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's sort of the foundation of a lot of Western therapy. But Sarah is way more advanced than that. So I never think I'm talking to you.
Well, thanks, Suze.
Okay. Oh, this is sort
like
of
what you said. It's mostly vibes. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, you're better at reading vibes.
I got the vibe. I get vibes. So go ahead.
All right. Let's switch gears. Here's the thing. It sounds made up, but this is a true story.
Those are my favorite kind.
Some gal, real cute, she makes YouTube videos that teach math. And I think it's pretty basic math, just your average stuff. And, she's trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
But the way that these platforms work is that it's based on the number of viewers, and then each platform has like a rate that they pay per, let's say, 1,000 views or 100,000 views, whatever it is. Yeah. And so she was doing this on YouTube, and it's a hustle, baby. Like you got to make a lot of math happen.
I think I've made 26 cents total from YouTube videos.
Well, that's why, if you remember, that's why we switched to Patreon.
Yeah.
And I forget what the total was, but I'm pretty sure it was like $100 we made on YouTube. And then we switched to Patreon, and then we're making a lot more than $100.
$500.
Yeah. 5 times that. No, but like way better situation, and you can sort of control your thing. Okay. Well, she realized what a genius she is. We call men geniuses all the time. She is one. She decided to upload these same videos where she is clothed and talking about math to Pornhub.
Okay.
And her income skyrocketed.
Okay. Would they pay better on Pornhub?
They sure do.
Dude, should we do this?
For real. Ever since I read this, I was like, why? Because if your videos are the same, what do you care?
Well, I don't care where you watch it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah, and fucking A, anything's porn if you jerk off to it. So whatevs. Who am I to say what?
So Pornhub offers $1,000 per million views. That's a lot of views.
Oh shit, that's a lot of views.
It's a lot of views. Versus
$1,000?
$1,000 per million views.
That's actually that seems like a lot of money. And
I wouldn't say no.
That's great. 1 million views.
And then
we got to be careful, clever with our heading.
Right. Clickbait. And then YouTube only pays $340 per million.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And so she's just sort of like, what? Like, of course.
I love this for her. Genius.
It's great.
It's so smart.
I mean, these people, I guess it doesn't affect them either way. It's free for them in both scenarios. The user, the watcher, the viewer.
Right. Yeah.
So I was going to say, like, maybe she shouldn't have said this because then everyone's going to just watch it on YouTube, but it's free for both.
And I think that the people who are watching it on Pornhub aren't exactly going to Pornhub to, like, learn long division. You know?
What if that's
Unless
their
long
kink?
division is, like, a euphemism for...
That's what we should call it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, she is posting for real. And she's real pretty, and she wears, like, tank tops, and she has nice cleavage,
Yeah,
but it's fine.
But I totally get that. But I think that when somebody goes to Pornhub, they're in the porn mindset. They're in the, like, I want to be titillated mindset. And then maybe they're, like, also Googling, like, hot for teacher, like, you know, and then they're like, maybe they really have a thing for their math teacher. So then they Google, like, math teacher, and then they click on that and realize what they really want is somebody to talk nice to them. Yeah.
They want long division.
They want long division. Yeah. And then, but they're already in the mindset of, like,
yeah, baby.
And they probably are still jerking off to her.
Well, yeah, but great.
Well, yeah, but they're not doing that on YouTube. Like, those people are not going on YouTube and are like, oh, let me jerk off to some math on YouTube.
You know what, Sarah?
Do you think?
Sure. I'm not sure anymore.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
I haven't been on YouTube in a while, so.
Yeah, what goes on over there?
I don't even know.
What I will say is, as somebody who married their professor.
Yeah.
And was, at one time, hot for teacher. I get it. I can't judge.
Right.
It's hot.
Yeah.
It's also problematic in these times. But I didn't know that then. It's not me. It's not I wasn't the bad guy, right? I'm the victim. Oh. But anyway, so she's making a lot of dough. But here's another layer to the story is that she posted, it's like a graph showing how much she made on Pornhub versus how much she made on YouTube. Just to say, like, hey, creators, like, just so you know.
Right.
And then LinkedIn banned her.
Why?
Well, they won't say, but it's really just because she's a sex worker. Like, that's the reason. Because it went viral, so she got a lot of people going to her page.
Is she?
Oh, right. Yeah, she's not. I mean, that's the reason that she's in trouble.
Oh, that's
she should have the sex.
Right. You can't be a sex worker when you're not even doing anything sexual.
So true. Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody
LinkedIn
watches this and jerks off to it, we didn't all of a sudden become sex workers.
We're sex volunteers. It's totally different.
It's totally different. Oh,
right.
That's freaking funny.
It's funny, but it's also just like...
I hate that she got banned for that. Because you know that there are dudes who are the executives of porn companies who are on there and they're not getting banned for shit.
Sarah.
Yes.
That is such a good point.
Thank you.
Like, if you're an employee at, like,
right,
the C-suite or administrative side of Pornhub, I'm sure they send faxes. I don't know what goes on over there.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's got to do the accounting. Somebody's got to sign for that $1,000 check.
Right.
Right?
Well, I wonder what it's like in the Pornhub, like, business offices.
I bet there are people you would never guess work at a place like that. And they're just, like, normal. But probably, I could write some fan fiction. They themselves maybe write fan fiction.
Yeah. Right.
These are your fan fiction authors.
The check, baby.
Yeah.
For real. And they love, like, office porn.
Maybe. They're more into so like stupid. The erotic literature.
Yeah, they're high-minded.
Like they're into that world. They're like they like to feel all excited and they're,
but
erotic,
still, like tasteful.
Tasteful. Yes. Tasteful.
All right. Well, we wish her the best.
Job well done.
I mean, for
Gal.
real.
I mean, that's working smarter, not harder, if you ask me.
You said it.
Yes.
Because I never would have even thought that
Never,
you can upload
ever.
anything.
That is just, she should have kept her mouth shut, though. Because
or open.
But what?
I don't even know what that means. Right. I know what you're saying, though. Like, she may have ruined a good thing.
Yeah, just because somehow men will stop her from this.
What if we posted, though, our videos on there?
Oh,
like just
fucking do it. Do it. Do it. The one of me taking my bra off, somebody's got to be into that.
We should do that just as an experiment to see, like...
Yes. Let's just see.
Oh, my God.
Dude, do it.
I want to tell Adam.
I have zero problem with this.
Okay, thank you. What? You've heard it all. It's
I'm fully
consensual.
clothed. I'm fully clothed. If fully... You could take it. We're on television. You could take a clip from any of the shows and put that anywhere. I don't give a fuck.
Let's be Pornhubbers.
Yeah, tastefully.
Tasteful.
I'll even give him a little. What? You want a little toe action? You want a little?
No, not again. No free foot content.
It's just a toe. You gotta go behind the paywall for the whole foot.
My God. Okay, moving on. This was like, you ever have one of those weeks where you're preparing for the show and a lot of things overlap?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes it feels like I think you just think I clicked on the related articles, because it's so similar. And I'm like, no, I kept seeing this. Yeah.
That's what it felt like this week. This article was, I thought, totally unrelated. It was about misophonia, where people cannot stand the sound of chewing.
Yes. My ex was like that.
Really?
Yeah.
All chewing, or was it like certain foods, or
no? It was all
crunchy,
chewing.
Slurpy.
I think it was all chewing, especially on the phone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I am an ass, right? And so I get super annoyed with the misophoniacs.
Yeah.
Because they are so upset about the chewing. Like I don't know what is happening to them, but they're just so worked up and like can't stand it, and they feel like you're the problem when you're just like eating a sandwich.
Right, that's true.
And I'm just like, okay, all right. But this article was really interesting about the phenomenon and what it feels like or whatever. And there's a lot of overlap with autism spectrum. There were other things, anxiety. There were several things, though, that it seemed like were connected.
Yeah.
But like what made me hate them more was that oftentimes it's not just like the chewing, like a wide net. Mm-hmm. It is like certain thing and a certain person.
Oh, I will say that it was more person specific for this ex. It was like certain. No, it was siblings. Like,
yeah, and
because I never got the. I never felt like they told me to stop chewing. You. They didn't mind me, right? Huh? What's that about?
Well, that's what made me crazy about this article, was because they were trying to downplay that fact, which they demonstrated was in fact a fact.
Okay, you can't downplay that. That's a huge fact.
They were saying like, okay, they acknowledged it, but then they were like, but it's probably because typically you're at home eating with your family, and so it's going to probably be your partner or your mom or your dad or your sibling. But like, it doesn't, because then that your ex-partner left that house, now lives with you, and is eating with you, and doesn't seem bothered by that sound.
And I feel like it was a situation where they would have told me if they were bothered.
Absolutely.
So
if it were just like proximity, then it would transfer to whoever they're living with now.
Yeah, it's not that.
It is not that.
Huh. What do you suppose that is then?
Is it hardwiring? Is it, I don't know, probably psychosomatic, for which they could get some hypnotherapy or something.
Right. And is it one of those things where like, if my partner does the same thing that my brother does, I'm not annoyed with it. But if my brother does it, I want to punch him because it's like him doing it. And it goes back to some like childhood thing of like the ability. Like, I don't.
Okay, that would be a fine theory, except sometimes it's only
with
the
new
partner
people
now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My theory is thrown out the door.
And they could
window,
be like,
whatever.
they go on like one date and they like cannot. That.
Then maybe it's a certain tone?
Maybe.
Could that be it?
It could be.
Okay. That's the only theory I have, is that it could be a specific tone
sound
that is uncomfortable, because in the same way that like I cannot stand the sound of two balloons rubbing against each other, or like squeaky shoes, like squeaky rubber. Ugh!
Yeah.
So, but that is a specific tone.
Okay.
That I wonder if you isolated whatever that tone was and you played that for me, if I would have that same reaction.
I bet you wouldn't.
Interesting.
I bet it's also
I want to know
stimuli.
this.
That's a great question, though.
Because you know how with that music thing that you were telling us about with the pole, how you can like take out certain notes and isolate like the where like the tone is on the scale. That's like music science I don't fucking know about. But I feel like you could run this experiment.
It's like a brain hack, yeah.
Somebody needs to do that.
Yeah.
If
We're
they haven't
busy,
already.
but somebody should.
I'm busy, / not in that field. What do I
Okay,
know?
so what's wacky though is it tends to be what they call human sounds.
Yeah.
Right? So like if you have misophonia, it's not normally like a train passing.
Yeah, but what about dogs slurping water?
Yeah. That is true. It actually gave dogs licking
Ugh.
as an example, but maybe they mean like they should call it animal sounds then, because
does that fall into the category of human?
I mean, it doesn't, but it should, because I get what you're saying. It's the same idea.
It is.
And nobody's like worked up about like, I mean, besides nails on a chalkboard, I can't think of like an object sound that a lot of people fucking cannot. What are they?
I think that I think mine are rocks rubbing together, like two rocks rubbing together, two balloons rubbing together.
Have examples is so funny.
The sound of a siren really loud that's close to my head. Ugh, I hate that noise. It makes me do a weird twitch with my neck.
Well, the statistics show that it tends to be human sounds, whatever that means, which includes heavy breathing, nose whistling.
Oh, I hate that. I had that the other day, and I said to my partner, I was like, oh no, I can't, the nose whistle. And then I like tried to do some stuff and it was still there. And I said, I was like, I guess this is my life now. This is who this is who I am now. And we laughed about that for a while because it wouldn't go away.
Right. Sometimes a nose whistle can be a real mystery.
It was driving me crazy.
Also,
like, this is my life.
Noisy eating and drinking. Mm-hmm. And they're agitated by, like I said, a particular person's sound. It's often a close family member or significant other.
Yep.
But here's why this article kind of connected to the one I just spoke about. And that is that it acknowledged that for many of these people, they're finding out through TikTok and such that they even have something that's like a thing.
Oh.
Right? So they get that label, and that can be a real relief to be like, oh, I'm not crazy. Mm-hmm. This is like an actual thing. Mm-hmm. But then the symptoms increase.
The red car phenomenon. Like you don't see any until you buy one. And
that's what the previous article
a bunch of them. Yeah, you can't look for that.
Like stop looking at the pain.
Because in a way that's saying I'm unsafe.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Right.
Interesting. How that? Yeah, you have to hear that sound and tell yourself you're safe.
And that's the thing.
With two rocks rubbing together. I'll never do that.
The article's description of how these people cope and how they have to fucking leave the room and all that. Oh, God. All right. This is why I am a terrible person. But
is there anybody who's low maintenance that like is a very like I want to know because I have a bad sample of people with misophonia because they're also all men. So I want to hear from a woman, and I want to know like is this if I can't imagine like I need a bigger sample. If you have this, reach out to me. Tell me about yourself.
Let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it. I get it.
You know.
All right.
Because did somebody make you comfortable all the time? Because if you were somebody
was your life too good?
Like had to be forced into discomfort. I wonder if you have that.
I'll tell you what is making my life too good, and that is the Daily Look styling box. Did you get yours yet, Sarah?
I have not gotten mine yet. I have ordered mine, and I am currently waiting for it to be styled.
I'm really eager to hear what you get.
Yeah, but I went through and I was because first when I see these boxes, sometimes I'm like, ugh, this is gonna be
garbage.
Women who have like
normal jobs,
Karen style. Like I'm not gonna like the style. But then I went through the looks. I was really specific, and I gotta say, I liked a lot. There were so many more looks that I liked. Yeah. And things that I was into.
You can see like what they are going to send maybe. And you can say like, oh, get out of here with that.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. That helped a lot because, I mean, I'm very picky.
I know, me too. I'm really picky. Yeah. And I'm like, don't send me stuff that like looks like a mom. Like I'm cool, man. Make it cool.
Yeah. I'm like, can it with your florals? I can't.
Right. Unless you're into that, then whatever. But
yeah, like that's the thing. If you're into that, I like solids.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is great. Daily Look is the #1 highest rated premium personal styling service for women. As I said before, I was especially impressed that they successfully sent me denim that I liked and wear.
Wow.
Because to me, like, that is the true test.
Yes.
Denim is hard. It's very, like, particular. At least I am about it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I don't change my style for so long because I'm so particular. And then I look at my closet and I'm like, girl, you cannot wear those jeans anymore. It is time to change. Come on.
It's time to get your own personal stylist. With Daily Look, head to dailylook.com to take your style quiz and use code BrainCandy for 50% off your first order. Once again, that's dailylook.com for 50% off. Make sure you use our promo code BrainCandy so they know we sent you. One last time, dailylook.com, promo code BrainCandy. Yes. Lovely. Jubbly. Okay. Next up. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard for me to choose.
I know. I always have that struggle as well. But anything you do is going to be great. I mean, and you already crushed it the first half of this episode with that therapy article. So,
all right. This is just a little something, which is that this was in the New York Times, and it was about Chinatown vendors. And they highlighted one in particular, this real cute guy. And he used to make these really beautiful, elaborate, handcrafted. I don't know if they were made out of palm or something.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like dragons and really
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then he was basically saying that it's been over time, but especially since the pandemic, people will not pay anything over $5 for anything. And that they want $1 bracelets, $1 plastic bracelets.
I think this is like Temu and those kind of things that did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that emerged right about the same time. And I think it's less the pandemic than it is these.
Well, he said it started after 9/11
stuff.
and e-commerce was sort of being
Yeah.
born, but it really ramped up when the pandemic hit. But what he's saying is people started buying everything online.
Everything went online. And then oh my God.
And like artistry became like devalued. And now it's like, yeah, I could get a dragon fucking on Amazon tomorrow delivered to my door.
That's got to come back. I feel like that's got to swing in the other direction soon.
I hope so.
It has to. I think that we are going to realize that we have such garbage that we're going to want quality and we're going to want handcrafted things.
Isn't that sad though?
It's heartbreaking. And I can totally see the moves that were made that got us there.
He said, like, he used to make those sculptures, elephants, flamingos, butterflies, etc., from the palm leaves, and now he doesn't even put them out. And that his stall is just like the same as everybody else's, like
it's
$1 shitty. Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, that's so sad.
Well, and it's sort of weird to me because let's say you know that you can get a $1 plastic bracelet on Amazon right now. I can't get a handmade palm leaf butterfly. So you, in a way, I guess I would have thought it would have given him greater value. But no.
I think, oh gosh. Yeah, that I don't know what that is. That
people are just like, nah, we want shit.
I hate that. I can remember one of the things that I got that is one of my most favorite little collectibles when you and I were in Brazil and we went to the what did they call it? Hippie fair. And it was like the flea market, like the farmer's market kind of thing. And there was a man who made teeny tiny little sculptures out of shells on like little pieces of wood. And it was this teeny tiny little man made out of a shell sitting on a log playing a guitar or banjo or something. And I still have it to this day on my shelf. And it is
You can't buy that on Temu.
You cannot buy that. And it is so special to me. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is kind of pricey for this little thing. But I never once think that now when I open it up or when I look at it. And it's one of my favorite little things that I have. And it reminds me of you and us and like the whole thing. And so I think that we need more of that and less garbage.
Less garbage.
Ugh, right.
All right. Do you think animals know they will die?
Oh my God. What a good question. Oh. I think they do when they are, yes. I do.
Like at end of life?
Yes, I do. Because I think dogs know. I think they do because often they'll go away. They'll, like, if a dog dies of natural causes, the family will sometimes find it, like, behind a tree or under the porch, or the dog doesn't die in the fucking living room, you know? It's like, unless it's an accident or something like that. But
yeah, like we saw in Chimp Crazy where that one chimp went inside to his, like, bed to die.
They know. I think they feel that same... Yeah, I bet they do. I don't think they know that they're aging, but I think they know when it's time.
This was in the Atlantic. It was called Do Animals Know That They Will Die by Ross Anderson. And this article concludes that they don't. But it is murky. Okay, so like in humans, children learn between the ages of 4 and 7 that like...
That they will die is different than
they're
prepare than they're gonna die that day before or whatever. But okay. But what are you saying? Children learn.
Yeah, children learn between 4 and 7 that like something's up, and that at that developmental stage they understand it as like a permanent loss of agency. And then the article sort of goes through different animals to describe how they react to death within their group.
Yeah.
So they were saying that termites like if there's a dead termite within the group, that they react differently depending on whether it's like a fresh corpse or an old one. So fresh ones, they eat.
Of course.
And the older ones, they bury. But
what?
they say they do.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
There's got to be a reason for that.
There is. They provide. And they say that it's not like what we're doing.
It's not. It's not like that.
I kind of feel like maybe it is. Because in the end, isn't the reason we're burying them because they stink?
Right. That's what I was thinking. I think it's because it smells, or they don't want to attract another animal or another insect to that area that then could be a...
Yeah. That's what we're doing.
Right. We just created a little more story and
ritual
ritual around it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like they're saying like the reason that they do it is because there's this acid that comes and they want to, whatever. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. So then they were talking about ants and how if there's a dead ant, like the fellow colony members don't even pause to consider whether the animal they perceive to be dead is actually dead. Like even if it's still moving and they just like sort of think it's dead, they're like, get this fucking piece of shit out of here. And they like lift it up and walk it out.
Yeah, they all run on pheromones and smells and stuff. So I bet that smell stops and they're like, okay, out. The ants are fucking weird.
Ants are weird. And like assholes, it seems like.
Task oriented.
I mean, I get it. Okay, so then they were talking about chimps. And chimps seem like the sweetest, of course. And they like touch the dead body gently. And they have like gatherings. But the gatherings around the body dissipate slowly. And it's patterned in the way that the individual chimps who were the closest to the deceased animals stay the longest.
Oh my God, that's a funeral.
That's a funeral.
That's like they sat Shiva for something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then Jane Goodall observed in an 8-year-old chimp who is lingering by his dead mother. It lingered so long that he died too.
Oh, God.
Lincoln would never do that for me.
I was just going to say, you hope Lincoln would do that for you one day. Susie, I would do that.
Thanks, Sarah.
I'll just I will waste away because
just hang out.
I would just be like, I have to be with her.
And it says, we, however, whether or not any of these animals like get death, which seems like at minimum you could probably argue chimps do, although I don't know if you could argue they see it coming.
Right, that's the thing. It's like I don't think they see it coming. I think that they just respond to in the same way crows and elephants and.
All right. Well, so maybe we are distinct in that way.
Yeah.
But
we're aware of our own mortality.
Yes, and maybe that is a specific human experience, and that we are the only animal who dies by suicide. Right.
Okay, so that is a result of the of that prefrontal
existential
cortex.
knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what makes somebody, anyone, want to do that or do that is a type of despair that can only exist if you understand meaning.
Right.
And you feel you don't have it.
Right. That's heavy.
Right? It's intense, but it is human. That's what we are all seeking.
Yeah.
I mean, almost every article we've talked about over the last 9 years is in some way connected to finding meaning.
Right. Yep.
And I don't think chimpanzees are doing that.
Right. Those deeper, it's meaning. That really is it.
And it's pretty bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because it's like the blue pill, red pill thing. is it worth it to be fully aware of?
Right.
Maybe you get some more depth or something, depth of understanding, depth of experience. But the flip side is sometimes grief that is immeasurable.
Yeah. I think what you get is you get access to all that it is and can be. That there is so much potential for so many wonderful things to explore, to love, to grow, to learn, to adventure, all of those things, to see beautiful things. And chimpanzees are I can't do that. So I think that is the antidote, is curiosity and learning and being engaged and experiences and broadening your horizons.
Yeah. If you are a Christian, I mean, that's what we see in Genesis with the Garden of Eden and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And she was not to eat of that tree, right? Mm-hmm. The fruit from that tree was so tempting to see all that life can be. You're seeing the knowledge of good and evil.
Right. It's a lot.
But you want it. And then, I'm not saying I think this happened. I'm saying the
it's a metaphor.
Allegory,
right,
or whatever, is making sense of what we know to be true, which is that like we have this awareness that can bring such depth and beauty, and pain.
Yep, it's
right.
Experience,
and so she fucking did it. I ruined it for everyone. Because now, I mean, according to that lore, now we're stuck with it.
Right.
And it's up to you what to do with it. But that's what scientists are trying to understand. Like, do any animals come close to that? Do they have any sense? I think we underestimate them all the time.
All the time. Because I don't know, maybe an octopus knows some shit because they seem like they do.
They seem like they do.
They do. I mean, fucking hey, they can change colors and stuff.
For real, if you've ever looked into the eye of a gorilla, I'm telling you, they know. Oh,
I looked into the eye of a horse the other day. There's horse stables, right? And I was like, this horse can read my fucking thoughts right now.
I actually believe that to be true.
I know that to be true. I don't know, but I like really fucking believe it to be true too. I mean, and I was like, those horses were way on the other side, and I was just like, "Hey, buddies, come here!" And they both came over and let me pet them, and were so calm. And I didn't know these fucking horses, and I just looked in their eyes, and I was like, "You get me."
I know.
Then it like let me, and then it like moved his head and wanted me to scratch the other side, and I'm like, "We're best friends now." I could just tell.
I feel that. I feel you. That anybody that's ever connected with an animal in that way, it's like, what?
Right. Get out of my brain.
There was this recent study. I didn't read it yet, so I shouldn't even be talking about it. But it was about how the human brain, the way that it looks on, I don't know, a scan, and the synapses that you can see. Are identical to that which we see in the universe at large.
Oh yeah,
and they're like
beautiful.
I think this thing was saying we're just inside of a brain,
right? And
that let's just play and say that's God or whatever higher being is.
Yeah,
and we're all in there, and we're all a part of it. And then whenever people have those drug-induced experiences where they realize we're all one and we're all connected and there is no difference between me and you. We're all in that same brain synapsing, connected. We're not separate.
Right.
Then you're like, ooh.
I know, Suze. It's crazy. Wait till you see Interstellar.
Fuck. Damn.
Just wait.
In 101 episodes.
That's in 1 year. That's in no time.
That's in no time.
A year.
I will see.
By this time next year, you will have seen it.
The movie that It helps me understand existentially.
Oh my God. I'm having heart palpitations. I'm so excited.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and indulging our lunacy. We didn't even get high or anything. This was just us being...
This is regs, man.
Regs. But hey, thanks for listening. Geek. What do we talk about? Trauma, misophonia.
Yeah.
Chinatown, animals. Everything.
Just existential. That's
the whole dealie.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.